Heartwarming discovery. Billionaire follows starving child and uncovers a life-changing truth. Nathaniel Brooks, a billionaire at 45, stepped out of the lavish charity gala into the brisk Seattle night, his glossy shoes reflecting the neon of the skyscrapers above. The night air, usually invigorating, felt suffocating under the weight of hollow conversations and insincere smiles. Everyone spoke of kindness and generosity, yet he felt more alone than ever. Then, in the dim glow of the street lamp, he caught a glimpse of something that made his heart skip, a ragged boy rummaging through a trash can, desperately searching for food. Leo. The boy seemed no older than 10, with scruffy hair and clothes that looked like they'd been through a war. But it was his eyes wide, hungry, and filled with a clarity that Nathaniel hadn't recognized in himself for years. Swallowed by his own world of wealth, Nathaniel felt a prick of curiosity, a tug of the heartstrings that made him hesitate. Compelled by the rawness of that moment, he began to follow Leo, stepping into a reality that felt thrilling yet terrifying. What began as merely a stroll evolved into a journey. As he trailed behind, Nathaniel saw the struggles of families fighting to get by. He spotted a mother nursing her baby on the fire escape, a grandmother tending to a makeshift daycare, and veterans handing out sandwiches at a local shelter. Leo darted around the block, laughing with other kids who appeared to be embracing life despite their circumstances. It was a vibrant, pulsing community alive with the spirit of resilience. Yet while Nathaniel was enchanted by the sights, shadows of skepticism whispered in the alleys as he was met with cold, wary glances. "Got money?" One man barked at him, eyes narrowed. "We don't need your charity, rich guy." Their mistrust hung heavy in the air, a reminder of the divide between Nathaniel's world of excess and their unyielding struggle. Internal turmoil churned within Nathaniel. He thought back to the gala, the laughter filled with fake warmth, the empty pledges, and the glaring feeling of being lost. Did he want to stay within his gilded cage, or step into a world that made his heart race with purpose? Before he could fully process his emotions, he stood at a food drive in a local park. The juxtaposition was staggering. Families lingering around tables laden with food, joy mingling with grief. Nathaniel watched, heart pounding, as Leo helped a group of children stack cans, showcasing their teamwork and hope amidst hardship. But even in this vibrancy, the tension was palpable. He tried to bridge the gap with an idea for an extravagant fundraiser, envisioning an event that would alleviate their struggles. But to his surprise, the community pushed back. Confusion marked their faces, as if to say, "What do you really want?" The heartfelt gestures born from privilege lacked genuine understanding. Just as the air felt electric, Leo slipped away, lost in the crowd. An overwhelming wave of panic gripped Nathaniel's chest. This was his moment of truth. Would he connect with this boy and the community that had captivated his heart? Or would he remain a mere shadow of wealth, forever cut off from the raw essence of humanity? Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. As he felt the pull of doubt, Nathaniel was left standing there, grappling with a decision that could alter the lives of those around him forever. Would he dive deeper into this world, find Leo, and forge the connection yearning to break through barriers? Or would he return to his tower, forever haunted by the connections he might have made? The weight of the moment pressed on him, leaving the air thick with untold stories and unclaimed futures. As his heart raced, Nathaniel's heart thundered in his chest as he scanned the park, searching for Leo. The crowd swelled with cheer and camaraderie, but it felt like a distant echo to him now. Each face seemed to hold a story, a testament to struggle and survival that he had never truly understood. His mind raced. How could he reach them? What could he possibly offer that would mean anything? Suddenly, a woman's laughter cut through the noise. He turned and saw Leo in the midst of a group, his laughter infectious even from a distance. Nathaniel stood still, absorbing the scene. There was something beautiful about that moment, a fleeting glimpse of childhood joy where darkness reigned outside their bubble. With every burst of laughter, he felt an irresistible pull, a fire igniting within him. Pushing through the throng, Nathaniel finally reached Leo. The boy was kneeling next to a little girl, exchanging stories as they sorted through the cans. Their laughter was a melody that struck Nathaniel with a deep longing. He crouched down beside them, feeling out of place, yet drawn in by their warmth. "Hey there, what are you two up to?" he asked, attempting a relaxed tone that betrayed none of the tension in his heart. Leo paused, sizing him up. His eyes filled with uncertainty, a glance wrapped in defense. "Just helping out," he replied, fingers still busy at work. The candor in his voice was unmistakable, as if he had every right to be there while Nathaniel did not. "Helping out? Huh? That's really great," Nathaniel said, smiling. "Do you do this often?" "Every week," Leo beamed, pride spilling over. "Feels good to help. Lots of people need it." In that moment, Nathaniel felt a pang of recognition. This child was not just a reflection of his own emptiness but a beacon of light in a world that often felt daunting. He recalled his own childhood, moments lost in the thrill of innocent adventure before the weight of adult expectations crushed that spirit. "So, tell me," Nathaniel pressed, lowering his voice to a conspiratorial whisper, "what is the best part about this?" Leo leaned closer, his expression earnest. "When people smile because they get food. And when I get to play with my friends," he answered simply, as if that alone could solve life's complexities. Nathaniel regarded him, struck by how genuine Leo was in his approach to life. "What would you say if someone told you they wanted to help more? To make this better?" he ventured cautiously. The little girl beside Leo looked up with wide eyes. "What do you mean?" she asked, head tilted innocently. He took a breath, building courage as if he were about to take a leap. "Maybe a bigger food drive, games, a party, even," he suggested, excitement tinging his voice. "Something that brings everyone together for fun and for food." Leo's face lit up, and for a moment, Nathaniel saw the gears turning in his mind. "Like a festival?" the boy mused, his eyes sparkling. "That'd be awesome." Just as Nathaniel felt the tide turn, a deep voice broke through the conversation. "You gotta be careful, man," a man nearby warned, arms crossed and brow furrowed. "What do you really want out of this?" Nathaniel felt like he'd taken a step backward. The warmth melted away, replaced by doubt. What gave him the right to swoop in and make promises? These people didn't know him. Would he be just another rich guy thinking he could save the day? His pulse raced as he grappled with the moment. I just want to help where I can," he stammered. But as he spoke, he felt the weight of honesty behind the words. Real help meant understanding their world first, not by throwing money at a problem, but by embracing the very people he had overlooked for so long. Still, uncertainty loomed, a flicker of challenge glimmering in Leo's eyes. "Then do it, but for real." Nathaniel nodded, a determination sparking within him. This was different. This was about connection, about authenticity. He wasn't leaving this world behind. Not now. The journey was just beginning and he was diving headfirst into it. But the question lingered. Would he truly find a way to bridge the gap? Or had he already made promises he might not keep? Nathaniel stood there, his heart racing as Leo's challenge hung in the air. The words felt like a dare, a call to action that echoed in the depths of his mind. His thoughts were a whirlpool of uncertainty, yet a strange sense of hope was beginning to surface. "Okay, Leo," he said, straightening his back, "I'm gonna prove it to you. We'll make this happen." A smile broke on Leo's face, and Nathaniel felt a surge of energy from that light. Just then, the man who had questioned him stepped closer. "You sure about this? It's a lot more than just making a party," he warned, skepticism threading through his tone. Nathaniel met his gaze, determination steadying his heart. "I am sure. I want to be part of this community. I want to support it the right way." The man studied him for a moment longer before extending a hand. "Name's Marcus. If you're serious, you'll need more than just good intentions. As they shook hands, Nathaniel felt an unexpected camaraderie blossoming. Here was someone with roots in this world, a potential partner in the endeavor he had envisioned. "What are you thinking we could do?" Leo asked, his eyes wide with excitement, like a spark ready to ignite a flame. Nathaniel took a deep breath, his mind racing to catch up with his heart. A community festival, food drives, games, storytelling. We can even invite local musicians. Let us make it a celebration. Yeah. Leo shouted, jumping to his feet. And we can have a soccer tournament. Everyone loves that. Laughter bubbled up from the little girl, and suddenly, the park seemed brighter, filled with potential. Nathaniel glanced around at the people enjoying the sunlit afternoon, families sharing laughter, kids chasing each other, the joy palpable in the air. But then that nagging worry crept back in. Could he really pull this off? The resources he could provide felt like mere drops in the ocean of need he was sensing around him. "Where do we start?" he asked, his voice steady, but uncertainty tinging his hope. Nathaniel was overwhelmed by the sheer scale of what he was promising. It was one thing to talk about change and another entirely to be part of it. "Let us meet up every Saturday and plan it out. We can talk to everyone, get ideas." Leo jumped up, his youthful enthusiasm infectious. Marcus nodded thoughtfully, his interest seeming to reignite. "You've got a good idea, kid. We can start with the food drive for sure. That's a need that never goes away. After that, we'll see how the community wants to participate." Nathaniel felt something break loose inside of him, a sense of belonging he hadn't encountered in ages. These discussions felt productive and hopeful. There was a light flickering within him, a drive to empower rather than intrude. Yet questions swirled in his mind. How could he ensure this festival would leave a lasting impact? How could he become a partner rather than an outsider? Before they could dive deeper, the little girl tugged on Leo's shirt. "Can we go play now?" she asked, her voice sweet and unassuming. "Sure. Let us go," Leo exclaimed, grabbing her hand. As they ran off, laughter spilling behind them like music, Nathaniel felt time pause for a moment. Marcus turned to Nathaniel, a knowing smile creeping onto his face. "We'll need to gather more of the community together. They want to help. It's about rallying a team." Nathaniel nodded firmly, feeling the warmth of newfound purpose. But even as he envisioned a bright future, the ghosts of his past, the doubts, the judgments, the failures loomed large in his mind. Would this be enough? Could they really come together and make a difference? The challenges ahead felt daunting, yet that flickering hope ignited seemed to dance through his heart. As the festival plans took shape and the first steps started to blossom into action, Nathaniel felt the weight of expectations settle firmly on his shoulders. But as he looked down the path ahead, he felt a question stirring. Would he become the kind of leader this community truly needed? Or would it all unravel before it even began? As the sun dipped low in the sky, painting the horizon in hues of orange and pink, Nathaniel found himself sitting on a bench in the park, the excitement from the earlier discussions still buzzing in his veins. Leo had run off, chasing after the little girl, laughter bubbling up between them like sweet music, while Marcus had wandered off to talk to other families enjoying the last glimmers of daylight. Nathaniel's mind raced. He scribbled ideas on a scrap of paper, his pen scratching urgently against the surface. Write letters to local businesses, check in with the local schools, and maybe even think about a theme for the festival. Each idea felt like a tiny ember in the vast darkness of his uncertainties, but still, the ember glowed. But as the festivities continued around him, Nathaniel's heart tugged at his chest. What if no one showed up? What if he failed? His thoughts spiraled, and he felt the weight of doubt creeping back in as shadows danced through the trees. Just then, a weathered voice broke through his swirling anxiety. "You look like you've got the weight of the world on your shoulders." It was an elderly man, his face lined with time but bright with kindness. Nathaniel didn't know how to respond. "I'm just trying to plan something good for the community," he finally admitted, his voice small. "A noble cause?" The man nodded, the corners of his mouth lifting slightly. "But you should remember, it's not just about the ideas. It's about the people, son. They are the heart of any celebration. Nathaniel looked up, something clear and honest in the man's eyes. I want to bring everyone together, to lift spirits. But I fear he hesitated. I fear they'll see me as just an outsider trying to swoop in and change things. The old man chuckled softly, a warm sound that wrapped around Nathaniel like a comforting blanket. You're more than just an outsider. You're here, aren't you? You're willing to step forward and try. That's what matters. Nathaniel focused on the man, feeling as though he were gazing into a mirror of reflection. After a moment he spoke softly. Do you really think they'll see me that way? I do, the man said firmly. But remember, it takes time. Each smile, each conversation, it builds bridges. Reach out, share your heart, and they'll follow. Inspired by the conversation, Nathaniel felt a jolt of determination surge through him. The burden of foresight shifted, and he straightened his posture. Then I guess it's time for me to start reaching out. The old man grinned knowingly. That's the spirit. As the sun began to set, Nathaniel felt lighter, the warmth of community slowly radiating around him. The park was alive, filled with the vibrant energy of laughter, children playing, and families sharing stories. He could truly feel the heartbeat of the place. The next day, Nathaniel planned a small gathering in his apartment. He wanted to invite everyone, families, musicians, artists. A brainstorming session that could help get the ball rolling, but it had to be the community's ideas, not just his. Excitement bloomed in his chest as he thought of the conversations that would blossom, the connection they would all forge. But as his mind swirled with names and faces, he couldn't shake a nagging fear. What if they didn't care? What if they were all too busy with their lives, too consumed by their struggles? Later that evening, Nathaniel stood in front of the mirror, staring at his reflection. The image of the man he saw felt like someone he wanted to become, a leader not driven by wealth or status, but by genuine connection and hope. Resolute, he pulled out his phone and began crafting a message to invite everyone to the gathering. But just as he hit send, another thought struck. What if they didn't have the means to come to him? Would they come to the apartment he had turned into a makeshift headquarters? The blinking cursor on his screen felt like a challenge, taunting him with a truth he couldn't ignore. If I want to make a difference, I have to meet them where they are. With that spark of realization ignited, Nathaniel took a deep breath. Maybe it wasn't about him after all. Maybe it was about creating a space where everyone felt they had a stake, where hopes intertwined. His heart raced again, filled with possibility. What if he could bring the gathering to them instead? As he considered his options, he felt that same question knocking at the door of his mind. Would he have the courage to step beyond himself and bring the community together? Or would he let fear guide his decisions? The festival rested just beyond the horizon, a bright beacon, but he couldn't shake the feeling that the real journey was only just beginning. Nathaniel couldn't shake the thought of meeting the community where they were. When he remembered the little park down the street, the one where Leo had been so happy to chase that little girl. It was alive with energy, a familiar spot that welcomed families and laughter, a perfect backdrop for his gathering. The next morning, he packed a simple basket with sandwiches and juice, hoping to keep it humble yet heartfelt. He printed out flyers inviting everyone to join him for a community brainstorming session in the park, eager to spread the word. As he stepped out of his apartment, he felt the sun on his skin, warm and encouraging, pushing back the last remnants of doubt that clung to him. With each flyer he handed out that day, excitement replaced fear. People smiled back, some even curious to see what Nathaniel had in mind. Just an informal get-together, he'd explain, trying to downplay the significance. But inside, his heart raced. Was he really taking this leap? When the day arrived, Nathaniel arrived early at the park, soaking in the sights of children swinging and parents chatting. He found a cozy spot beneath a large oak tree and set up his little corner with a blanket and the food. He arranged the sandwiches like treasure, a display of care that he hoped would speak to the hearts of those who might join him. As families began to trickle in, Nathaniel felt a mix of nerves and hope. A few neighbors he recognized offered friendly waves, while others brought their children, who immediately sprinted off to find friends. "Hey!" a familiar voice called out. Nathaniel looked up to see Marcus approaching, a grin plastered on his face. "This looks great, man. I'm glad you decided to do this here." "Thanks. I thought it might be more inviting," Nathaniel replied, gesturing to the playground in the distance. Marcus settled down on the blanket, and soon others began to gather. A few curious faces filled the space around them, drawn in by the spread and Nathaniel's open demeanor. He introduced himself, sharing his vision with each new participant, like a candle lighting up in a dark room. As the chatter grew, so did Nathaniel's confidence. Ideas flowed from the group, each suggestion igniting the embers of hope in his heart. They talked about themes, activities, music, and what they wanted the festival to feel like. Nathaniel saw their excitement spark and crackle in the air. It was infectious. But then, as laughter echoed and ideas flew, a voice broke through the joyful chaos. "What do you want out of this, Nathaniel?" It was a woman he didn't know, her tone direct yet not unkind. He paused, feeling the weight of her question. "I want to bring us all together," he finally said. "I want to create something we can share, something that's ours." She studied him for a moment before nodding. "Then you better listen to what we need, not just what you think we want." Her honesty clutched at his heart. She was right. Something inside him shifted. This was not just about him. It was about genuine connection, understanding what the community desired, their dreams and struggles. As discussions resumed, Nathaniel took a step back mentally. He began listening not just to the words spoken but to the currents beneath. Each voice shared joy and fear, hope and hesitation. They were mapping out a future together, weaving their desires into a tapestry of what could be. By the end of the meeting, as children played nearby and conversations filled the air, Nathaniel felt the weight of the world lift. Together they had started something significant, and he knew it was just the beginning. But as the sun began to dip low, Nathaniel leaned in closer to Marcus. "What if we can't pull it all off?" His heart began racing again, uncertainty creeping back in. Marcus shot him a reassuring smile. "We'll figure it out together." In that moment of camaraderie, Nathaniel realized he wasn't alone in this. Hope intertwined with the rising fears inside him. The festival was becoming theirs collectively, and although the road ahead was still uncertain, a spark of faith flickered within him. That question lingered in his mind, teasing him. Was he ready to embrace all the challenges ahead, or would doubt find its way back in? The festival was taking shape, but he couldn't ignore the storm brewing just beyond the horizon. Nathaniel awoke the following morning, sunlight filtering through his window. The warmth felt different now, infusing him with a sense of purpose. He had ignited something in the community, yet the echoes of doubt still lingered as he sipped his coffee. Could he truly make a difference? As he dressed, a list began forming in his mind, a checklist of everything that needed doing. The park gathering had been a success, but there was still so much more to arrange. Nathaniel grabbed a notebook, filled with the thoughts and ideas that had emerged during their meeting. He flipped through pages of scrawled notes and half-finished sketches. With every mention of food trucks, performers, and activities, Nathaniel's vision blossomed. He focused on bringing in local talents and artisans, wanting the festival to reflect the soul of their town. This wasn't about him. It was a celebration of their collective spirit. He stepped outside, ready to tackle the day head-on. But as he rounded the corner, reality sent a rush of cold air through him. The excitement of the park meetup faded into the distance when he spotted a group of children playing. One of them, a girl, knelt near the sidewalk, her gaze fixed on something growing beneath a nearby tree. Nathaniel approached, curiosity pulling him in. As he drew closer, he heard her whisper, "Look, they're so tiny." Stopping beside her, he peered down to find a handful of small wildflowers pushing up from the cracked pavement. "That's beautiful," he said, kneeling to get a better look. The girl grinned, her innocence painting a smile on his face. She wore mismatched clothes and dirt-streaked hands, yet she seemed unbothered by her appearance, enchanted by nature instead. "What do you want to be when you grow up?" Nathaniel asked, genuinely intrigued. "A fairy," she declared with bright eyes, as if it were the most obvious answer. Her conviction reminded Nathaniel of his own childhood dreams. Why a fairy? He probed, forgetting his worries amidst her spark. So I can spread flowers everywhere. And I'll make people believe in magic. The girl twirled in excitement. Nathaniel felt a lump form in his throat. That sense of magic, so easily lost in adulthood, flickered like the wildflowers she adored. Here was a reminder that dreams could be simple yet profound. He barely noticed the group of parents gathering as he stood, lost in the moment. "Hey, that's my daughter," called a father walking over. Nathaniel turned, greeted by a warm smile. "You should join our community gathering," he suggested, feeling the momentum of his own initiative surge anew. Before long, he was engaged in conversation with the parents, sharing his festival ideas and listening to their thoughts. Each story exchanged filled him with energy, reconnecting him to the core purpose of his efforts. But then reality returned forcefully. Someone's voice pulled him back, one of the mothers, her smile now tempered with concern. "How are we supposed to believe in magic when we struggle just to put food on the table?" A hush fell over the group. The question pierced straight through the hopeful atmosphere, and Nathaniel's heart sank. He could feel the weight of their struggles, their dreams, once bright, dulled by life's harsh challenges. He took a deep breath, fired up to respond. "I understand that we have hardships. I want this festival to create hope, but I need your help to make sure it grows in a way that supports us all." As the gathered parents began to share their hesitations, something began stirring inside him. Their voices, filled with uncertainty and resilience, ignited a new determination in his heart. This was about more than just a festival. It was about building bridges between their dreams and realities. Nathaniel looked around at the faces before him, feeling the heaviness shift a little. They could make this work together. But as he spoke, a nagging tension seemed to linger. Would he be able to turn their hopes into tangible solutions? The fate of the festival now rested not just on his shoulders, but on the collective spirit they could harness. He could feel the undercurrents of doubt again, creeping back as shadows threatened. Maybe the magic lies not only in the fairy tales we tell but in how we uplift one another, Nathaniel mused aloud. As the sun began to set, the horizon transformed into a canvas of fiery colors, yet a chill ran through him. Could they truly unite their energy into something life-changing? Or was he chasing a dream that flickered on borrowed light? Nathaniel stood at the edge of uncertainty, ready to face the challenges ahead. But as new ideas brewed, the question nagged at him. Would their gathering transform their collective struggles into bright opportunities? Or would the shadows of doubt hold them back? Nathaniel found himself grappling with the uncertainty as night fell. The colors of the sunset faded into deep blues and purples, casting longer shadows that mirrored his lingering fears. He walked home, pondering how he could turn their shared hardships into a festival that not only celebrated but also uplifted. Walking through the neighborhood, he spotted Mr. Jenkins, the older gentleman who ran the local hardware store. Nathaniel hadn't seen him much lately. As he approached, he noticed the weariness etched on his face. "Evening, Mr. Jenkins," Nathaniel called out, waving his hand. "Evening, Nathaniel," Mr. Jenkins replied, his voice weary but kind. "You're looking full of fire these days. What's on your mind?" "Just thinking about the festival," Nathaniel admitted, shifting his weight. "I want this to be more than just fun. I want it to give folks a reason to smile, something to look forward to." Mr. Jenkins nodded slowly. "That's important, but remember, it takes more than goodwill to put together something like that. Resource struggles are real. Not everyone can throw in the same amount of time or money." Nathaniel felt the weight of those words, heavy like stones in his stomach. "I know that," he said, his voice softening. "But I think if we share ideas and work together, we can create something that reflects our community. Everyone's problems are interconnected in one way or another." A flicker of something like hope crossed Mr. Jenkins' features. "You know, when I was younger, I used to think the same way. We wanted to support each other, lift each other up through everything. But the world has changed. It's hard to find that spirit these days." "I think it's still there," Nathaniel replied, drawing energy from his conviction. It just needs a spark. You might be right, son. Just don't let your fire burn out too fast, he said, resting a hand on Nathaniel's shoulder. People sometimes forget to believe in things that are simple, like community. Nathaniel felt encouraged but also heavy with the responsibility it all carried. As he stepped away from Mr. Jenkins, he thought of the girl who wanted to be a fairy. Dreams could be fragile, yet something told him there were roots that could run deep if nurtured right. Back at home, he sat down with his notebook, pages illuminated by a single lamp. Just as he began jotting down new ideas, his phone buzzed. It was a message from Jenna, one of the mothers he met earlier. "Can we talk? I have thoughts about the festival that might help," it read. His heart raced. Maybe this was the moment he was waiting for, a chance to connect deeper and foster that community spirit he yearned for. He quickly typed back, "Absolutely. When and where?" As he waited for her response, Nathaniel started to craft a plan, keeping in mind the challenges others faced. What if the festival could also be a platform for local businesses struggling to gain visibility? A place for people to share stories and resources, fostering collaboration instead of competition? Less than a minute later, Jenna replied, "How about tomorrow at the park? I believe we can create something bigger than just a festival." A wave of excitement swelled in Nathaniel's chest. They could be the start of something he had only begun to dream about. But then the darker thoughts edged in. Would Jenna and others be willing to engage? Would they truly believe they could build a better tomorrow from the rubble of today's struggles? Nathaniel gazed out the window, the stars beginning to twinkle. It was beautiful yet distant, just like the hope he wished to cultivate. Could they nurture that hope enough to make it bloom? Or would the challenges of life quench the spirit before it ever had a chance to shine? Tomorrow would tell, and tomorrow felt heavier than ever. The following day dawned bright and clear, the sun pouring warmth over the neighborhood as Nathaniel made his way to the park. His heart thrummed with a mix of excitement and apprehension. He could already envision the vibrant festival stalls filled with homemade crafts, laughter of kids playing, music spilling through the air. But he also knew that turning dreams into reality was no small feat. As he approached the park, the familiar rustling of leaves and the cheerful chirping of birds greeted him. Yet, despite the beauty around him, doubt crept in. What if no one showed up? What if his ideas flopped? He shook his head, forcing the negativity away. He had to believe in the possibility of something beautiful. Jenna was already there, sitting on a bench with her son, a bright-eyed boy with messy hair. As Nathaniel neared, he saw her face light up. "You made it," she exclaimed, relief flooding her voice. "Of course. I wouldn't miss it," he replied, sitting down beside her. "So what's on your mind?" Jenna's enthusiasm was contagious, her eyes sparkling. "I have this idea about incorporating a talent show into the festival. It could be a way for people to showcase their skills and talents. It draws everyone in and gives them a chance to shine." Nathaniel felt a surge of energy. "That's a brilliant idea. It could show how diverse our community is." As they brainstormed, ideas flowed freely. They discussed everything from food kiosks featuring local cuisine to art displays showcasing the work of nearby artists. Each suggestion felt like a thread stitching the community together, weaving a tapestry of collective hope. Amid their planning, Jenna leaned in closer, her voice softening. "You know, Nathaniel, I was hesitant to reach out at first. I've been nervous about making this happen. But seeing you so committed sparked something in me. It reminds me that we can't do this alone. We need each other." Nathaniel felt warmth fill the space between them. "Exactly. Together, we can create a space that reflects who we are and what we aspire to be." Just then, a few families strolled past, catching snippets of their conversation. One mother, Maggie, joined in, her son tugging eagerly at her sleeve. "Sounds interesting. Can we add a booth for sharing resources? Like a way for folks to support each other during tough times? That would be amazing," Nathaniel exclaimed. His heart raced with excitement, buoyed by the rising momentum of fresh ideas. As more people gathered, Nathaniel felt a sense of belonging fill the air. They discussed plans, connecting with each other, laughing about shared burdens, and celebrating the resilience they all possessed. It was as if the spark Nathaniel believed was still there was igniting into a joyful flame. Yet, even in that moment of collective hope, a twinge of doubt brushed against Nathaniel's thoughts. Would the larger community come together to make this dream a reality? Would they find the strength to support one another? As if sensing his inner struggle, Jenna turned to him. "We're building this together, Nathaniel. You can count on us." His smile widened, feeling reassured. They were in this together, and together they could break down walls. But just as they were about to put down a tentative plan for the festival, a sudden commotion caught their attention. A loud shout rang out from across the park, drawing the curious gaze of everyone present. Nathaniel couldn't help but feel a knot of anxiety tighten in his stomach. What was happening? He exchanged quick glances with Jenna. What if this interruption held the answers to questions none of them had dared to ask? What lay ahead was just out of reach, a twist in their budding endeavor that could either challenge their hopes or fortify them further. "Let us see what that's about," he said, standing up with purpose. And with that, the day took an unexpected turn. Nathaniel stepped forward, pulling Jenna along as they moved toward the source of the commotion. The park, once buzzing with excitement, now held a tense stillness, the air thick with uncertainty. People craned their necks to see what was unfolding near the old oak tree, and whispers swirled around them like leaves in the wind. As they approached, Nathaniel spotted a small crowd already gathered, their faces a mix of concern and curiosity. A boy, not much older than Jenna's son, stood in the middle, looking distressed. Nathaniel felt a clenching in his chest. He took a breath, trying to quell the unease swirling inside him. "What's going on?" he asked a man standing nearby, who looked equally perplexed. "Some kid fell from a tree," the man replied, a furrow forming in his brow. "It looks bad." Nathaniel's heart raced. He pushed through the thickening crowd until he reached the front. The boy was on the ground, cradling a twisted ankle, tears streaming down his face. A small group of parents surrounded him, talking calmly, trying to comfort him. "Stay still, buddy. Help is on the way," one of the dads reassured, kneeling beside him. Jenna's voice broke through Nathaniel's haze. "Nathaniel, we should do something. He needs us." "Right," he said, shaking himself free from the shock. Instinct kicked in. "I'll get some water, maybe distract him while you call someone." "I'll do it. You stay with him," Jenna insisted, her face determined. She hurried off to grab her phone. Nathaniel knelt beside the boy. "Hey there," he said softly, looking into the kid's wide, scared eyes. "What's your name?" "Jamie." The boy sniffed, wincing with each painful movement. "Jamie, I need you to take a deep breath. You're going to be okay." "Do you like superheroes?" Nathaniel asked, hoping to pull him out of fear. "Yeah," Jamie muttered, wiping his nose with the back of his hand. "Okay, what's your favorite?" Nathaniel encouraged, feeling a flicker of connection. "Spider-Man," Jamie exclaimed, his face lighting up despite the pain. "I knew it. Spider-Man is awesome. Did you know he once saved everyone while swinging from building to building? It's pretty brave, right?" Nathaniel watched as the seriousness of Jamie's situation seemed to lift off his shoulders just a bit. As the moments ticked on, Jenna returned, phone in hand, her eyes wide but focused. "Help is on the way." She sat beside them, taking Jamie's hand and giving it a gentle squeeze. Suddenly, from the back of the crowd, an older woman broke through, her eyes searching eagerly. "Jamie! Oh, thank goodness!" She rushed to her son and knelt down, relief flooding her features. She wrapped her arms around him, tears glistening in her eyes. "What were you doing up there?" She scolded gently, brushing her fingers through his hair. "I wanted to see the festival," he said sheepishly, glancing up at her. The moment felt larger than just an injury. It was a reminder of vulnerability and the depth of community. Nathaniel watched as more people gathered, offering words of support, snacks, and distraction while they waited for help. Each gesture, small yet profound, knitted the community tighter. Nathaniel and Jenna exchanged a look, something unspoken passing between them. This was the heart of what they were trying to create, a place where connection blossomed and support was abundant. As the sirens wailed in the distance, Nathaniel's heart began to lighten. They had moments like this, moments that could either draw people together or tear them apart. Today, it seemed their community chose to come together. But just then, a voice called out from behind them. "Hey, there's a situation down by the food stalls too." Nathaniel's heart sank. What now? He thought, anxiety threatening to cloud his hopeful spirit. Jenna looked at him, determination rekindled in her eyes. "Let us go, Nathaniel. Whatever it is, they need us." And with that, they turned to face the unknown, ready to respond once more. Heartbeats synced to a deeper purpose. What awaited them down that path? As Nathaniel and Jenna rushed toward the food stalls, the air thick with anticipation, Nathaniel's heart raced. The sounds of the festival blending, laughter mingling with the rising tension of whatever awaited them, made his pulse quicken. He silently prayed that the family they were connecting with could handle the unfolding drama and maintain their spirit intact. They reached the food stalls, where a small crowd had gathered around a couple of concerned fathers. A little girl, no older than 6, stood on the pavement, her face streaked with tears, one hand clutching a cotton candy stick, while the other clutched her head. The little girl had taken a fall, her small frame trembling with shock. Deep inside, Nathaniel felt that familiar knot of anxiety coil tighter, yet simultaneous determination surged through him. This festival was supposed to be about joy and connection, and here, amidst the chaos, he knew they needed to show that very strength they hoped to build. "Hey, what happened?" Nathaniel's voice cut through the murmurs in the crowd as he bent down to the little girl. "What's your name?" I am Lily," she stammered, the quiver in her voice tugging painfully at Nathaniel's heartstrings. "Lily," he said gently, settling beside her. "Let us take a couple of deep breaths. All right? In through your nose and out through your mouth. One more time." He demonstrated, his hands exaggerated, trying to coax a smile from her. The crowd watched, a sense of solidarity softly rippling through them. Jenna, always attentive, reached out to grasp Lily's other hand. "You were so brave, Lily. We're all here for you. Want to tell us what you were doing?" I just wanted to win that game," Lily said softly, trying to wipe her tears away. "What game? The ring toss?" Nathaniel asked, suddenly thinking of the vibrant booth nearby. "What if we make you the princess of the festival? You could pick out a prize just for being so brave." The tiniest spark ignited in Lily's eyes, daring to chase away the clouds of pain. "But I fell," she whispered, uncertainty still holding her captive. "Falling is part of the fun. Now you have a story to tell that makes you even more exciting than ever," Nathaniel coaxed, feeling the crowd leaning in, supportive energy pooling around them. "When you're back on your feet, you'll get to show everyone just how amazing you are." Just then, the crowd began to join in, saying encouraging things and sharing their own stories of falling and rising again. Laughter punctuated their words, a thread weaving the community closer, healing mixing with the laughter. "Look how all these people are here to help you," Jenna chimed in, her voice bright, rallying the troop to lift the spirits of this little girl. "No one leaves a festival without love and laughter." As the commotion around them settled, Nathaniel felt hope blooming within him, the resilience he had witnessed slowly drawing out the vulnerabilities of the crowd. They were starting to embody everything this festival stood for, a beautiful blend of pain and celebration, connection amidst chaos. Before long, paramedics arrived, and the parents talked things through with them, reassurance soon settling back among the vibrant laughter. Within moments, Lily's tears subsided, and she began to smile shyly as the medics wrapped her ankle. "Are you ready to be the bravest princess at the festival?" Nathaniel asked, crouching down, his heart full as he watched her nod. "Yep," she exclaimed, the determination sparking back to her eyes as the crowd erupted in cheers. They erupted into applause, voices of encouragement filling the air. Feeling buoyed, Nathaniel glanced at Jenna, whose smile mirrored his own. He realized that together, they could nurture something extraordinary, something vital that went beyond the festival. Their community was stepping into the very magic they sought to create. As they stood together, a wave of realization washed over Nathaniel. This festival wasn't just an event. It was a celebration of life, love, and community, embracing both the trials they faced and the joy they could still cultivate. But as they caught their breath, Nathaniel felt an inexplicable weight settle on his shoulders again. Could he handle the responsibility that came with guiding this community towards something meaningful, or would unseen fears derail their journey before it even began? He turned to the festival's main stage, where the sound of performers warming up echoed in the background. There was work to be done, ideas yet to be shared, and a mutual spirit yet to be ignited. "Let us keep going," he said, his voice ringing with determination. "This is just the beginning. We have so much more to create together." With excitement buzzing in the air, he took Jenna's hand. Together, they moved forward, ready to embrace everything that awaited them, determined to show that love often blooms in the unlikeliest of places. Everyone around them was watching, everyone was participating, and the hope of what was to come felt tangible. They were ready to unify, ready to transform, and ready to make magic happen, not just at the festival, but in their community for years to come. And in that moment, with laughter echoing in the backdrop of their shared journey, a powerful realization emerged. They were not just creating a festival. They were forging connections, realizing the beautiful ripple effect of caring and collaboration, a testament to the community they all belonged to. But would they keep pushing these limits, harnessing their shared spirit to unveil possibilities they hadn't even dreamed of yet? Together, they were ready to seize the challenge, deeper connections waiting just beneath the surface, waiting to spring forth like the wildflowers of hope in a cracked pavement. This was their moment, and they wouldn't let it slip away. Now, hold on just a second. If you enjoyed this incredible and heartwarming conclusion, you need to subscribe now to the channel. Don't wait not even one more second if you want to catch exclusive stories like this one in the future. And if you felt the warmth of this transformation, leave a like now to help feed the algorithm. Comments are your space too. What were your favorite moments? Share your reactions and feelings with us. Lastly, you must share this video with at least 5 friends who need to feel inspired and uplifted. True fans understand the importance of supporting our shared journey, and together, we can spread that love far and wide. Let's keep building this community.